Hi everyone. So, a little bit of backstory on this, before I get started on this. Somewhere over a decade ago, uh, I was looking into a variety of things with the original Zelda, and got to thinking that like one of the things I would really like to see the original Zelda be was a bit more modernized, a bit more updated, look a little nicer, more towards like the Game Boy version, and like seasons and ages. And in looking through that, I came across Zelda Classic. In digging through the mods that were available for Zelda Classic, I found a mod by someone named Warlock that had done mostly what I wanted it to. It had the Game Boy graphics, it had a few other nice features added to it, but there were some problems with it. And there were a variety of things that were just not functioning at all, which would quickly send me into a spiral for probably the next year or so of tinkering with a lot of things and modifying the game in a way that I really liked. I added a lot of things to this, I changed a lot of things, I fixed a lot of issues that were broken with Warlock's original version of the game. And I'm not going to get into a lot of details on that at the moment. If you're really interested, there is an FAQ included along with the game. And over a decade later, here we are. Currently, version 1.5.6 is out and available. You can do !Overture, and it'll give you a link to where it's at currently. What I'm showing off today is version 1.57, which is a version that I'm planning to release, but I wanted to go through and test and make sure things are working, as well as get a much more updated video together for the download page for the game, because the one on there is very, very old. This version is currently been sent out to a few different people, and I'm waiting to hear some feedback from them, just to make sure things aren't really broken or anything before I actually go and release this version publicly. But I thought I'd give it a show today. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete this. If you have the most recent version, it'll automatically prompt you to select a quest. We're gonna go back a folder here, because I actually have it in a different folder. And when you load up your file, you'll notice it flips to the, like, Game Boy style link. And in starting, for anyone who's very familiar with original Zelda, you'll notice a couple things very different very quickly. One being that there's an actual map in the upper left, which is nice. There's an actual arrow counter on screen now. And there's 4 buttons. Amongst the new features that are available, there's actually a full map, which it works as a fully functioning map, by the way. And in our menu screen, you'll notice that there's a whole lot of extra stuff here. So, let's get finding on that. Probably one of the biggest things is diagonal movement's now a thing. You can speed up messages. And one of the newest features in this version of the game is you can rebind the sword, as well as other items, into pretty much any button slot you want. Hi, Kyler. So normally, for those who are experienced with the original Zelda, you would probably go find you some hearts and go get the white sword before even going to Castle 1. That's not a thing you can do anymore. The swords have had their heart requirements changed, and it takes 8 to get the first sword now. So, we have to do at least the first dungeon. You'll also notice that the first sword has sword beams. They don't do any damage with the wooden sword, they only stun enemies. as you can see there. But having an access to a stun right off the get-go is quite useful. We also have a boomerang in a different spot. We'll come back to why on that in a little bit. Tweaking this again? I don't necessarily know that I'm tweaking this anymore. This might be the final version. But it has probably the biggest change, being that, as I mentioned, you can see that there are 4 buttons now. Liar. You're right, I might change something else. We'll see. I don't actually want to go that way just yet. I'm going to come over here and get the compass. So it should be noted that going through doors is a little more finicky than usual, but that's also because of the diagonal move. One of the new things that's added is slashing, because I personally was a fan of it in the Game Boy. It should be noted that there is an issue with hitting like the bottom right corner. That's something I'm still looking into. I might figure out how to fix that at some point. I am gonna go this way first. And that's a ring. For those who played Seasons and Ages, you may remember that there were a bunch of rings, and there are a bunch of rings available in this now. This one is the Magician's Ring, which, as you can see, adds a magic bar onto my HUD. Because there's going to be a variety of things now that take magic to use. The other thing you'll probably notice is there's a boss door and a boss key. And that's a new setup to every dungeon. Wow. He did not like me. It's fine, we're getting the death out of the way early. So normally in Castle 1, you'd come up here and you'd get the bow, but now you need a boss key to get into the dungeon item rooms. By the way, nearly everything can be picked up with the boomerang now. And I mean that in a literal sense, like, nearly everything can be picked up. There's a couple rooms that do that, where you just kind of can't walk down out of them until you, like, back up a bit. I don't know why. Something else that I'm looking into. Of course, I get grabbed by the Wallmaster. I'm slightly rusty at the game. It's been a while since I've played. When I said everything can be picked up by the boomerang, I mean just about everything. Alright, with one heart in hand, now we can actually go do some ring around to be able to get us the white sword. When do I think Chris will stream this again? I don't know. I know he was saying that he would be considering it with this update, because Chris is one of the people that I have sent this version to. Him and Ziggy are the two people I'm looking at to like get feedback on this version, and Noble if he gets around to it, but if he doesn't, no big deal. Is that a randomizer? No. So basically, everything in this is vanilla. You have played it, yes. Noble has played this a lot. He was the person who did pretty much all the testing when I originally was putting this all together a decade ago. So for anyone who's familiar with the screen, there is a hidden passage here, now marked by this one gray rock, which is supposed to be your clue that it's here. And that coupon gives you reduced shop prices. Take a quick swing by the beach side. I do not want to grab that rupee yet, because it's 100. I do, however, want to grab this heart. One of the few things that were changed was that heart you can no longer actually get out to, because... oh, that's the expensive candle. You can no longer get out to that heart with the stepladder, because the stepladder is disabled on the overworld, and we'll come back to why a bit later. Grass also has drops now, so you can actually just farm money off of grass if you really want. There we go. I'm gonna grab that candle. An X, that's fine. So a couple things were moved around. When I first started toying around with this, I wanted to kind of like... what's the word for it? I wanted to kind of re-hide some things. I believe it should be this one. Nope. You notice those burn instantly. That message has been changed, because in order for you to get the last sword, you need to have all 16 hearts now. So hopefully that keeps anybody from picking up the potion. Since the game does not want to be nice and drop me bombs anywhere, I'm going to go buy some real quick. because we're going to need those for a couple of hearts. There's not any in the shop. Which one do I have to go to get bombs? There we go. I'll take these ones. Might as well grab arrows while I'm here, so I can showcase that. So, with the addition of the arrow counter, there are a few things required for you to be able to actually use arrows. One being is that you have to have the bow. A bow. I'll come back to that later. Another thing is that you have to have a quiver, which you'll notice is already in my inventory on the left-hand side. Bigger quivers let you have more arrows, obviously. You also need to have arrows, which you can buy from a variety of shops. And you also need to have arrow ammo, which is what your counter actually counts. In which it actually works too. That one is one that took me quite a long time to get functioning. But it did finally all come together, and it works, and I'm very happy about it. Now, when Noble tested this for me, he tested and replayed this a lot, and I cannot stress that it was a lot. It was so much, in fact, that I dedicated a room to him for it. This was originally supposed to be added to the game as a challenge item. That ring is called the Peril Ring, and what it's supposed to do is force your hearts to 1 and lock them there, so you cannot gain hearts at all. It's completely broken, though. It just flat out does not function in this version of the game. That's Potion Lady. And so as a result, I was like, well, I still want to do something with it, so I figured it was the best way I could appreciate Noble for all the hard work he did. As a lot of people remember, this screen has a heart. But if that heart is over here now, just a slight move. And then lastly, we'll pick up heart number 8. So back to the map. Like, the map actually is a fully functioning map, and you can zoom all the way in, too, if you really want. The blinking X is Link's current position. We need to go... not this way, right? Yeah, not that way. There we go, we have our white sword. While I'm here, there is somewhere in the game, there's a hint that tells you to walk into the waterfall, which normally gives you a hint about doing something earlier in the game. But it's been replaced with a charge skill for your sword. Because what would it be if you couldn't do that? And it does actually do more damage. So it's a worthwhile upgrade. Oh god. L and R will let you shift through items that aren't already assigned, by the way. But they only shift your B button. Did I miss that, or... I hit the wrong one. I hit the wrong one. I'm gonna move that. I'll come back later. You'll also notice that there are bigger rupees. Because farming money in this game is pain. Oh, now I get bombs. Thanks, game. The levels actually have their level names on them, too. I didn't mention that in the first dungeon. And keys fall from the ceiling like they do in the Game Boy. Our boss item, or our dungeon item is right there, but we need a boss key, so let's go find that. And I could just bomb all the way up the right side if I really wanted to. That's still a thing. Lucky fairy. It should be noted that the Sword Slash is not for everyone. I get that. That's also why it's in the first dungeon. So if you find it, you don't want it, you want to do a quick restart, it's very easy to do. No real big impact on that one. I think this room is just bombs. Hi, Ziggy. I was just talking about you not too long ago. That is a bigger bomb bag. Or no, that's the money bag, I believe. There's our boss key. You'll be trying this later in the week? Cool. I was actually mentioning that I was currently waiting on some feedback from particularly you and Chris, just to make sure that nothing is broken. But I also wanted to get a new video out for the actual downloads page. Because the one that's on there is very old and at this point very outdated. So there's a bunch of spikes here, and spikes weren't previously in the game, if I remember correctly. I don't think they were. clearly, if there's spikes in a boss room, the dungeon's gotta have something to help with that, right? I don't even need the key. Keys are also dungeon specific now, so you can't take them to other dungeons. Yeah, that's a thing. I actually tried. I have tried that. You cannot face tank through some upcoming spike requirements. Okay, yeah, so that bag was the money bag. Normally, you would be able to go up to 255 rupees, I want to say, in the original game. But yeah, it locks you at 99 until you get that first bag. So it kind of, it's just one of the few ways I did to kind of like gate progression. Oop, wrong button. We get our wizard ring, so we have a bigger magic bar. Sounds like a challenge for you to try later. Good luck. You might be able to do it if you shortcut through one room, but I'm still not going to recommend it. I should probably have enough to get the blue ring now with the coupon. Yep. Long ago, in the way back when, the rings had heart requirements on them. I'm not sure what I was ever thinking putting heart requirements on them, but I've taken those off, so no worries about those. Maybe a Saturday night stream, can't promise Monday or Wednesday. I mean, stream it whenever you would like, Ziggy. Chances are, I would probably end up having to watch the VOD anyways. Just because there's a lot of things keeping me busy as of current. Nobody likes dark nuts. Yeah, it's been too long since I played. I don't remember my own way around half these rooms. Goes to review the map again and go for fast overworld routing. Okay. Good luck. Wish you all the best. Hopefully the new button style will help. Because it should be less things you'll have to actually... Or it should make it so you have to much less constantly swap through things. Yeah, it's working so far. So far everything works great with it. Nailed it. Oh yeah, we gotta go back and get our dungeon item. By the way, the map works in the dungeons too. So you can actually see the dungeons, which is actually really nice on some occasions, depending on how lost you get in dungeons. You would turn right. I'm just gonna squeeze right by those. Yeah, that is also true. That's another thing that I enabled and fixed was that Darknut's front-facing side can be hurt by bombs now. Also, you'll notice I just completely whiffed the swing there. Because enemies actually have a Z-axis now, so they actually jump. This is probably the more hidden things, because there's not normally a room here. But, you get this nice room that is, in my personal opinion, a great reference to a combination of, like, Link's Awakening and Link to the Past. It's a reference to the Mad Batter, because in Link's Awakening, he would give you a message saying about waking him up, and then he was going to curse you, and then he would give you, like, double your amount of bombs or double your amount of arrows and that kind of thing. Seeing as those are upgrades, I figured what better to put here than the half magic upgrade. So now it's just half as much magic to use anything. And so then you're probably wondering, it's like, okay, well, how was I supposed to find that? Well, this dungeon also has something that helps out with that, and we'll get to that in just a little bit. So, very nice clear water. And immediately to a boss door. Not much else we can do but go up. And this is not normally here. But this is where our big key is. Zelda 1 fans would now be expecting to pick up the step ladder, because that's normally what you'd use to cross that. But, we got flippers. Which actually let you swim. You do have to hold against the water for a brief moment, but it works. I could have made it so that way you could do it instantly, but I found out there was like some rough issues with it like clipping you on the water, and so I figured the hold method was a better option. That's a miss. That is the item that is intended to help you with finding pretty much everything through this mod. This, in some older versions, was hidden in this room in a block. But yes, this is actually the Lens of Truth. And it does show literally anything that is hidden anywhere in the game. Except like one thing. But we'll come back to that much later. This is the reason that I want to figure out how to fix that particular thing. Though I don't entirely know if it is something I can actually fix or not. I don't think that really... Yeah, see, like, you can see that there's a broken wall there. It does drain magic pretty considerably quickly, and that's with half magic. So, it's best to just kind of tap it. So I could go and press on into Dungeon 5, which I'm going to do fairly shortly, but we're going to go take a bit of a trip around and find some things, because like I said, there's a lot of stuff that's been added. In fact, there's so much stuff, I don't even remember where it's all at. So yeah, we have a candle marker for bushes that can be burned. This is Farrar. You may remember her from a game that hasn't happened in this timeline yet. And she gives you Farrar's Wind, which is an item that I added because I thought it might be good utility. If you use it on the overworld, it just takes you back to the start. And if you use it in a dungeon, it takes you back to the beginning of the dungeon. You can see that there's a marker for the power bracelet. That's a very expensive ring. That ring is normally 999 rupees, but it also gives you a 1 in 15 chance of instantly killing an enemy. I believe the name of that ring is the Whimsical Ring. We will not be picking that up today. That skill lets you charge your hammer. Now you're probably going, there's a hammer? There is a hammer. We'll get to it later. I believe it's actually in Dungeon 5. 5 or 6, one of the two. This is a Jinx ring, which, as it says on the label, protects you from jinxes. It just gives you 50%, it makes the time that your weapon lock and item locks are reduced by like 50%. There's a better one later that gives you full protection from it. It's not that screen, it's up here. Actually, while I'm here, you'll notice that there's a raft path missing from here. Where is it? This is the right screen, right? Yes, it is. There it is. This screen does still exist. You just need the flippers to actually get here now. That should be all of the overworld hearts. That's an ocarina. You'll also notice we're going well above 255 rupees. Oh, it's in the middle. This one lets you shoot sword beams in all directions. It only does it off of spin charges. But if you have full hearts or you are capable of shooting sword beams and you spin attack, you'll shoot a beam in all 4 directions. That is the crossbeam skill. I ran out of bombs. That's probably not good. I believe there should be one up here. Yep. I instinctively moved to the item and then just closed the menu, assuming that would put it on the button. There's another shop. This is a bigger quiver, so you can hold more arrows. This is a very interesting color palette, but that's also like its default color palette. Don't ask me, I don't know. I believe this one here is a potion lady. Yep. We're gonna go left first for a moment. Right, you need a magic shield for those. Another potion lady. We need to go... Oh, we actually need to go left. I don't know why there's a blank spot there. I must have accidentally removed a rock at some point. I will fix that later. That Octorok will kill you outright at this point in time of the game. He is incredibly strong. And we'll come back to why he exists a bit later. In case you didn't see that, you can actually see that the power bracelet's under that. And with that in hand, we're gonna go grab 2 more items before we head off to Dungeon 5. Or 1 more, because actually I went the wrong way, so. This is a heart ring. It will periodically give you half a heart. It's basically just the heart ring from Seasons and Ages. Hit every button except the bomb. Having 4 buttons is weird. So, as you would probably expect, you can't swim in lava. And as we've seen, to the right is just a hinge room. And during one of the recent playthroughs of somebody playing this for basically the first time, they were very confused because normally at this point in the game you would have the step ladder. And they hadn't found the magic lens. Which is why I made the lens no longer hidden, because you are intended to use it quite a bit. Because there is a hidden wall. That is a vanilla hidden wall. I don't know why I set that up, but okay. Because there's your stepladder. I don't think I actually want to go that way yet. Not yet. Why would I go this way? Nope, this is the one I didn't want to go to. Oh well. And for anyone who's curious, yes, the stepladder is as jank as it is in the original Zelda. See what I mean? It's jank as ever. So when I said you were intended to use the lens, I mean that you were intended to use the lens. This room, I don't believe normally exists, but has the big key of the dungeon. And we could do a long walk around, but... the stepladder was still there for a moment. Gibdos have the highest drop rate in the game for bombs, by the way. The whole killing 10 enemies without taking damage thing does not work anymore. Oops. Didn't mean to walk back out, but oh well. Personally, that door's touchy, apparently. Personally, I like the diagonal slashing. I think it makes it a lot easier to deal with these a-holes. There's the charge ring level 1. Which lets you charge, I think it's like 25% faster. Yeah, there's an example of cross beams. These rooms are vanilla, by the way. These guys actually just suck. Getting hit while you were doing or charging or holding a charge will knock you out of the charge, by the way. So that's something to make note of. The ocarina has replaced the whistle. It's all around same functionality. It just different graphic. And that is our bomb bag. So now we can carry up to 16 bombs. I tried to get as descriptive as I could for any of the new items, just to be as clarified as possible, I guess is the word for it. I didn't want things to be super confusing on what the new stuff was, if I could help it. Some things are a little cryptic, but most things are pretty straightforward. We are gonna kill the Gibdos just to see if I can get a few more bombs. But I'm just not gonna have any luck. I actually could have gone and got the magic sword right now, too, now that I think about it. because its heart requirement is now 12. The room below still exists. I still don't know why. Like, you can get some bombs, but, like, that's it. There's nothing special about the room. I don't know why that room exists at all. Other than for the sake of adding shape to the dungeon, I guess. There's nothing here on these walls. Don't worry about it. That was the other thing I was gonna grab. I just went the wrong way first. So this is Din. Din gives you Din's fire, as you would expect. This is a nice circle of fire. Works on a lot of things, does not work on everything. You can see that one can be pushed by a bracelet. Only in one direction, though. And for anyone who was a fan of the remake, I think it was in the Game Boy Advance version of Link to the Past, I want to say, you can get the Whirling Blade technique, which takes 2 charge levels and lets you just spin. And it is incredibly powerful. We can get our first Ocarina secret. Which is this room. For anybody who's a fan of Link to the Past, the big bomb is a thing. If you do not have Shield Ring, and you take a hit from the big bomb, because your bombs will hurt you. Yeah, I switched those, by the way. The candle no longer hurts you, and the bombs do. So that's a thing to make note of. You take a hit from the big bomb, without a shield ring, it does 8 hearts of damage. This used to require the Ocarina to get to. It now requires actually killing the Black Octorok. Because this is the Mirror Shield, which works just like it says on the label. It actually will reflect magic, amongst other things. That will let you extend the hammer's charge farther. Yeah, this one was the hammer charge, or this was the farther one. One of them is one. I meant to replace the message on that, but I must have just forgot. It'll get fixed. There's this room out here in the corner that is just conveniently here. And is a level 3 boomerang, which leaves a nice fire trail on it. This is the Peril Blade. So if you're down to just 1 heart, you enable sword beams. Good little emergency thing. We've got this terrifying Black Knight here that we're not gonna do anything with for the moment. Let's see, so we need to go down a layer. You have to press to put the button in the item slot. I put the item in the button slot. I know what I said. You may have noticed that that enemy was invisible. Just like these enemies are invisible. And we're gonna have some invisible enemies over here in the graveyard. But we're going a little out of our way so we can get the magic sword. And one extra hidden item in the graveyard, which is the VIP card, which reduces shop prices by 75%. There is also a membership card that reduces item prices by 50%, but I'm getting stuff a lot faster than most people would. That's a hammer peg. That's why you can't come over here normally. Or come up here to like get things like very, very early. It was just another one of those things to just kind of like direct you in a specific kind of way. Why that is considered a start screen, I have no freaking clue. Like, nothing in the game is set to flag that as a start screen. And it only does it while you're there. Hammer supremacy. Ziggy is a big fan of the hammer. We're gonna take a little trip out of the way, because there's a hidden spot right there for our ocarina. That gives you a pendant that will let you see the unknown, like invisible enemies. Went a little out of order to get things there, but it's fine. Gonna take one more trip before we head over to Dungeon 6. Should be this screen, yes. Oh, I correct myself, 2 trips. Just to give an example what this does, it will hit enemies and it can burn bushes. That's the red ring, hidden out on the normal map. Normally you wouldn't get this until in Dungeon 9. It's also normally very, very expensive, but our VIP card makes it much cheaper. Actually, no, we should grab some bombs. Went through a lot of them. They're also dirt cheap now. This isn't the intended stop while we're here, so I figured I'd get it. Because it's a bigger wallet. As if we actually needed a bigger wallet, because we haven't even filled up our rupees yet. But it's there. It's available. And this is Nehru. I cannot stress this enough. Nehru's love is every bit as broken as it is in Ocarina of Time, for anyone who's actually played Ocarina of Time. You can also buy a better bow and silver arrows here. We are going to get the bow. We're not going to worry about the arrows, though. Oh, that's the wrong screen, isn't it? Yep. I don't know what's with the down thing not letting you through sometimes. I believe it has something to do with an update that enabled some better pixel movement. It made things more pixel precise rather than like tile. And that might be causing the issue. For the most part, it hasn't really been that big of an issue. It only kind of happens here and there. Nobody likes whiz robes. You'll also notice that like the bag is blacked out and the peril ring are blacked out in dark rooms. I don't know why, but the map is also blacked out in dark rooms. That one's intentional. As mentioned before, I don't even remember where everything's at. Though I think I remember the shape of this dungeon, and I gotta go to right first. Oh yeah, it's just the hint of Goma. You know there was a lot added when even the dev can't remember everything. As mentioned, you can actually reflect magic with the mirror shield. No, there's nothing hidden in this room. That would just be mean. You also cannot lose your shield to a light plague, though. But you can use it to fight whiz robes. Legend of Truth was very big quality of life. Yes. So, I said the Legend of Truth was originally in there and just very, very hidden. And after a bit of discussion, it was too hidden. Especially since, well, normally nothing's ever hidden in a boss room. I do not want to go this way yet, if I remember right. But yeah, it's like also, like, the intent was for you to pretty regularly use the lens of truth to find things. And having it hidden away was unnecessary. Oh, I remember what I'm at in the dungeon now. We're going to give a little showcase of Neighbor's Love here. If I actually equip it. Getting used to equipping things is the hardest part about this. Notice that with the level 2 magic and half magic, that took almost the entire magic bar. But I also took no damage. So, it is a very costly thing to use. But if you really need some invincibility, there's a hidden... This is a walkthrough wall, for anyone who's never seen one. And a bigger heart ring. I'm gonna go this way. A recent change also made it so that way the game will not drop you things that are things that you have full counters for. So, for example, if you have full arrows, the game will just stop dropping arrows and attempt to give you something else in place of it, which I thought was a nice quality change to add. Okay, now that we have the big key, I think we need to check out one more room on this side, maybe? No, because everything else should be on the other side of the stairs. Pretty sure. Everything except this. Which is, I think, probably Ziggy's favorite item. And I'll show off some stuff with the hammer in a little bit. Random set of emotes. Hi, Goma. Goma still dies really easily. I had considered on multiple occasions on turning up Goma's health, but it just really never felt needed or worthwhile. Actually, let's just... Pharaoh's Wind. Which is gonna put me in the graveyard for some weird reason. I don't know why. Don't ask. I literally have no clue. I consider putting something here, but no, there's nothing there. So many ocarinas. The ocarina, by the way, does still work for teleporting you around on the world map. Have to head out now. Hope I sound canon. Yeah, I'm actually kind of glad that you're going to be heading off because I don't want that to be spoiled for you, because all I can say, Ziggy, is when you do get around to playing this, make sure you pick up the Pendant of Light. And there's our level 3 wizard ring. So now we can actually have a good amount of magic. I've considered on multiple occasions, like, replacing that with, like, the level 2 ring and then hiding the level 2 ring on the overworld. And it's just like, I feel like at the point at which you're at Dungeon 7, if you haven't really explored the overworld, you're probably not going to. So I feel like keeping the level 2 on the overworld is probably the better choice. Secret in the tip of the nose. All these rooms, by the way, that have bombable walls all over the place, like 99% of these are vanilla. The ones that go to like brand new items are ones that I added, but like outside of that, like all those bombable walls are normally in the game. Just in case anyone was curious. You would move. Bigger, bigger bomb bag. This one, let's go up to 32 bombs. Oh my god, Dig Dogger, get off the wall. Dig Dogger is at least set as a boss, so he does not respawn if you kill him. Oh, I forgot to buy the meat. In all my running around and doing things, I did honestly forget to buy the meat. I mean to return to start again. I have to be careful about using Pharaoh's Wind, because it's very easy to just send yourself back to start. I believe it's the one above me that has it. It is. Oh, this was not the right room. I was like, wait a minute, where's the dude? Stop. So the tip of the nose is the eyeball. Actually, I believe the eyeball's the way I want to go. We kind of need a big key, though. By the way, your big key, your map, and your compass all actually show on the subscreen, so those 3 spots down there are for. You can notice that, like, despite all the things I have gotten, there's still a random variety of things that have not been picked up yet. Let's see. Not those ones. I don't think there's another way out of this room. There might be, though. Yep. We are not even gonna bother the dongos in this room. I'll kill them anyways. So, it won't show you when push blocks are a thing, but it will show you if there's a hidden staircase. Which pops up under the tiling for some reason. I still don't know why on that one either. It's a layering issue with the tiles. And something else that I'm just tinkering with, trying to figure out how to make it work. I have some thoughts on it. So this is one of two new bosses. That was Mega Manhandler. Yeah. Other than that, looks like we got pretty much everything in the dungeon except... I think there was one other thing I want to go back for real quick. I could be wrong, but I thought I had actually added something else here. No, I guess I didn't. So there's too many changes even for me to keep up with. Especially when a lot of this I added a decade ago. Alright, one more main dungeon to go. Oh yeah, that's where it is. Our level 2 wealth medal, the membership card, is right here. And I never went back and got our big key item. I never went and got our big key item in Dungeon 7. So this is actually a good time to show this because that's our red candle. So we need to go take a trip back to Dungeon 7. fortunately, the ocarina can still take us there. Room, where were you at? I went down those stairs. I didn't go down those stairs. That's what it is. The sword is in kind of a weird placement on the subscreen. That's in part to being able to swap that around was a very recent change, and not something I had intended to be able to be done when I originally did all this. And as such, I didn't build the subscreen originally to be able to utilize the spot for the sword. And any way I could try and shove the sword in there somewhere looked mostly ugly. Outside of just sticking in the, like, one spot by itself. So it might still be a little ugly, but it's not as ugly. Yep, there's our red candle. Alright, Dungeon 8. So here's a perfect time to show off one of the things that the hammer does, and part of the reason why Ziggy loves it so much is because you can just hit dark nuts with it. Also, it hits in a little bit of an AoE. If I can get the charge to go off. You can see that it stunned the Jinx. Ziggy also found out that you can kind of like spin like this with it while it's coming down and hit multiple things at once. I thought it was that side. No, it's this side. V longbow that I picked up earlier makes arrows shoot much faster. An idea can make the hammer function like a bomb against bombable things. So you mean like being able to like break walls with it? Because if that's what you're getting at, not that I know of, because it's a specific wall type, or it's a flag type that lets walls actually be destroyable by bombs. So, unfortunately, no, that's not what I can do. We have an actual infinity symbol now for things that are infinite. But yeah, that one is restricted by the like engine itself. There's our big key. We have a walk-through wall here, which goes to this room that has 3 of these black dark nuts. This is why Ziggy likes the hammer, because you can just... Also, it has a small AoE to it, so like you can hit stuff that's like right next to where you're hitting. Hammer is probably one of the more useful things just for dealing with dark nuts, if nothing else. This is the Ethereal Ring, which gives you immunity to jinxes, which is why I came out of the way to pick it up. Because it's rather handy. Especially for where we're going next. All the ones that could have respawned, it had to be this one. Let's see, what did we do? We did those. Yeah. There's also the magic book is still in this dungeon, which we're not going to bother getting. There's one item that I do want to go get real quick, though, because it's something that within Zelda Classic itself is broken. And I actually did fix. So, fans of Link to the Past will remember the Cane Beer now. Except, normally in Zelda Classic, it doesn't have a graphic. So I had to add one. And it does work. Not generally something you want to keep on whatever button you're going to use your sword on. It does not work on Dark Nuts, however. Also notice that drained the crap out of my magic. But it is something that can hit and forego like the hit stuns on enemies. So it just will rapid hit things at the cost of a whole lot of MP. We can also just cheat our way into the boss room. So, this is the other new enemy. And there are a few different ways you can go about doing this fight. You can face tank it. I'm definitely equipped to be able to face tank this fight right now. If you're very much underpowered, you can use Neighbor's Love, but as you can see, that takes a lot of magic, so I'm hitting the button right now, and it's not doing anything. You can also do one of these, although that one's very tricky to, like, time. But yeah, this enemy was, when I was tinkering with other random things, just an enemy I had seen in the enemy list, and was like, I would have put this in somewhere, so I did. Same thing with the Mega Man Handlaw. Like, there were things that were just in Zelda Classic, and I was like, I want to have these added in somewhere. And so they're the two last bosses, so things that you should definitely be well prepared for. We are finally gonna go make a trip. For something that most people would have probably have gone and gotten in, like, the beginning of the game. Okay, you're right here. I replaced the letter with the mushroom. I thought it was just more fitting with the graphic style. It does the same thing, though. Still works as a letter. So, a change here that I don't necessarily know that everyone who's played this has quite understood, but if you buy a blue potion, normally buying a blue potion again would be useless. But with a recent change, buying a second blue potion gives you a red. So if you already have a blue, you don't need to buy another red. Or you don't need to buy a red to get a red, you could just buy a blue. Which is more useful if you don't have any of the wealth medals. Actually, before we do that, we have one more thing to go get before we head on to Death Mountain. Actually, no, I need to go up and over. Nope, one more screen over. So mentioned previously, there is this horrifying Black Knight who also works as... Ow. Yeah, like, even with the red ring, he is doing a ton of damage. He works just like a Dark Knight does, so you can't hit him from the front. But you can do a couple things to kind of trivialize the fight a bit, as I recently found out from Ziggy, being that this works, which is incredibly cheap. But it just trivializes the whole fight. But, I mean, if it works, it works. For Fancy the Original, this is a 4th sword, which was not in the original, and requires you to have all 16 hearts It is the strongest weapon in the game. Obviously the strongest weapon in the game. It is literally the, like, double the attack power of, like, the next strongest item. It also lets you shoot heart beams, or shoot beams, regardless of how many hearts you have. Let me stand correct on that. Lets you shoot beams, regardless of how many hearts you have, for 100% damage. In case you hadn't noticed, with some of the other swords, I was shooting while missing hearts, because they don't require you to have full hearts now, outside of the first sword. So there's a immediate secret, being an infinite bomb bag. It should be noted that this can be bought multiple times because it is set up as a shop. Because if you come to the shop without having the VIP card, like, this bag normally is 999 rupees. It's set up as a shop though, and because I'm still looking for a way to be able to make shops like one-time only purchases. Until then, you can buy it a second time, but it's useless for you to buy it a second time. There are so many things to cover in this place. There is, and I will be getting that. I just have to remember my way around this place, because, like, this place is a maze. So we're gonna start with the stairs. Really? Right into a like? Also, it should be noted that the magic key is now actually hard required for this dungeon. Like, you cannot find a single key in this dungeon. Which room am I in right now? Like the middle? Yeah, I'll take this one. That's how you're supposed to get this key. It is a walk-through wall. Ziggy, however, found out you could just boomerang it from the other side. And I was like, so upsetting. One of the things I've considered doing was just make it so like the big key can't be boomeranged. But then at the same time, I'm just like, nah. Like, it doesn't affect anybody who doesn't know about it, and speedrunning technically. So it's like, yeah, you want to boomerang everything? Go for it. Did Chris crash it? I know, like, there was an issue that came up in Chris's run that was legitimately my fault. Those are our new Wizrobe. If they catch you in a tornado, it sends you back to the beginning of the dungeon. So don't get caught in a tornado. What did Chris break? So, these Wizrobes are also new. And you cannot hurt them with anything. They can hurt themselves, however. They also do pretty decent damage, too. There is an item there. But, I'm gonna leave that one for your surprise. So we're up here. I know roughly where I'm at right now. I didn't mean you specifically. I mean for anybody who might be actually watching and is planning on playing the mod. There you go. We have a map. That's gonna help. These are also two new versions of Wiz Robes, being Fire Wiz Robes and Summoner Wiz Robes. Not too bad to deal with when you have the Master Sword, though. And this is where you would normally get the red ring, but now we have the black ring. So you get to be Dark Link. And you also get further damage reduction because it's gonna be needed in a minute. I just get knocked out of the room. I think this was the way that Ziggy found to be able to get the big key. Was somewhere through this side, I think. Alright, and lastly we have one truly bad room. There's two blue Wiz Robes, two red Wiz Robes, Summoner Wiz Robe, and Wall Masters. But for doing that, you get the Infinite Quiver. It's not... oh, and there's also a Wind Wiz Robe. Well, it's not extremely bad, but it's definitely one you have to pay attention in. Yeah, through here was how Ziggy would just boomerang across. Which was clever. I give him credit for that. Because I had not thought about that. Oh, is this one a bomb and not a walkthrough? Yeah, it is. Again, it's a weird tiling issue. It's just like layers and stuff, and I just have to figure out how to like adjust the layers properly. Based on where I'm at right now, or things that I want to go get, we're gonna go this way. I believe this is one of the ways you would normally go. However, as I walk through all here, which gives you the biggest heart ring. Except it's a one-way. So once you take that, you're back to the beginning. But that heart ring also gives you like half a heart back like every 8 seconds. So it just kind of puts your survivability like through the roof. So I think that's worth a bit of a trip back to the beginning. I think I took these stairs already. I forget quite where they lead to specifically, but it's fine. I gotta take them anyways. Not for the moment, anyways. This is our passage into the stair room. Might as well open the other one too, because if I remember right, this one also was bombable. You want to talk about terrible rooms? I guess we are taking those stairs then. I believe there's a bombable wall in this room that we did not go through. I'm trying to make my way to a couple specific spots right now. One of which I don't actually remember where it's at, though, which is a problem. That is the last wallet upgrade, which is the infinite wallet. So if you didn't have the money for the infinite bomb bag, you would after that. Was I up? No, I was not up. Oh yeah, that's the one that locks behind you. No, it's the one below that doesn't open. Let's see, where are we at? Oh, we need to go back there. Alright, so we went down, we went right. We need to go left. And here, in the very bottom left, we at least have the Sage Ring. Sage Ring lets you do some really bonkers stuff. Like, just turn on the key in a beer nut and never turn it off. Because why would you? And that was the thing I was forgetting how to find. Being that silver arrows can be used to beat the game, but are not required. Golden arrows are available in the dungeon. One thing that I did make as a rather big change after some recent discussion, I will show off here in just a minute once we get into a room with a bunch more whiz robes. If I get into a room with more whiz robes. Oh, which staircase is it that goes again? I think it's... might be the one above me, since the left one brought us over to this side. This dungeon has way too many staircases. Arrows work on whiz robes now. And golden arrows are very strong. It's not that stairs. Is it this? Is it those ones? Well, it's not these stairs. Let's take these ones back. Oh, I know what stairs it is. I just didn't remember how to get to that room. It should be up from here. Is it on the left side, or is it straight up? Straight up takes me to the room that locks, so it's got to be on the left side. This is the conveyor belt room. And yes, you can hit Wizrobes with arrows while they are moving. Staircase hidden under the trap. We have a much meaner Patra. But, as Ziggy found out, this just freaking wrecks it. If you hit that right, you can hit literally all of those in one go. So, going into the Ganon fight, Ganon's something that I've tinkered with a bit, quite a few times. His damage has been amped up quite a bit to account for the Black Ring. You are 100% intended to have the Black Ring going into this fight. Alternatives of what you can do is, like, you could have Neighbor's Love, which I'm going to put on. Not that Zelda. This here, this here. You could have Neighbor's Love, which really helps. The Lens of Truth will not show him, but something that was made, something was changed in 1.5.6 was if you have the Amulet of Light, he's supposed to stay visible. So I don't know why he's not. I will have to double check on that one. Because in testing, he stayed visible. I will double check on that one. But you'll notice that I also made the stage like Link's Awakening, or Link to the Past, so you can fall off the ledge. His fireball does a ton of damage. That's what I need. Put that. Still only takes one arrow to kill him, though. I turned on some stuff to reduce flashing, but it doesn't seem to have made that much of a difference. But that was it. That was Zelda Overture. You'll notice that I did not get everything. There are definitely plenty of secrets that I did not show off in this. So, it's very much a thing of, feel free to get the mod, play it, enjoy it, find all the secrets. I'd be actually rather interested to see somebody do a true 100% run. Looks like it's sounding like Ziggy's gonna start running it himself at some point. So I hope everyone enjoyed. I hope everyone who decides to play this enjoys. 2 hours for me to make a run through the game is not bad. Average playthrough. Crusader ran this not too long ago as his first time playing Zelda 1. And it took him, I think, somewhere around like 6-7 hours after I got some original issues sorted out for him to beat it. So, like, average playthrough of someone who's played the original Zelda knows it. If you're not going to take the time to look and find stuff, it will definitely be more of a challenge when you get down to the end. If you do take the time, it's going to be a lot easier. But here we go. I hope everyone enjoys, and if you have questions regarding it, like I said, there's every single one of my changes that I've made is all in the FAQ that is included with the zip folder with the game. And I will continue to keep updating it as it is needed. This may be the last major update that I do, though, unless something is like super broken. I already see like 1 or 2 things I need to tweak a little bit, and we'll get this going. As soon as I hear back from Chris and Ziggy regarding stuff with 1.5.7, that will be out and available, and the 4-button mode will be available for everyone to use. But I'm gonna get out of here. You all have a wonderful night, and thank you for stopping by. Thank you for watching the video on the mod, and if you enjoyed it, thank you for playing it. I greatly appreciate it. If you like it, leave a rating on PureZC, leave a comment. There's also a forum topic about it that was started like over a decade ago, so feel free to chime in on that. Have fun, everybody. Thank you again for watching, and I will talk to you all later.